What is up, party people? Welcome back to my channel. Long time no chit chat. Today I wanted to do a much needed life update slash post-grad Q&A. I have officially been a Kent State alumni for a full year now, and I cannot believe how quickly my first year of post-grad flew. I graduated in December of 2022 with a fashion merchandising degree and fashion media minor from Kent State University. I am sure many of you guys kept up with me during college while I was an Alpha Phi. I was super involved on campus. I was taking about 18 credit hours a semester, and I ended up studying abroad my last semester of college, my senior year, and I graduated a semester early. And I know a lot of my viewers kind of dropped off then because I was truly in a different country every single weekend, and I think people were just overwhelmed and like, oh my gosh, where is she? If you guys have been keeping up with me since those days, I really do appreciate it, and thank you for sticking around. But I know I've been literally all over the place in the last year and a half, and I kind of wanted to take today to catch you guys up to speed on what I've been up to and answer some of your most asked questions. So this is gonna be a little bit longer. I will have specific questions and timestamps down below in case you guys want to click around. Maybe you keep up with my vlogs every week so you already know what's going on. I have the questions on my phone, so here we go. First one is, I've been a little out of the loop. Can you fill me in the SparkNotes version of your first year of post-grad? Absolutely. In January of 2023, I had a few travel opportunities come my way, and I wanted to take advantage of them before moving and signing a lease. I was like, you know, might as well get these out of my system. I feel like it's a sign. I took my parents to Hawaii for 10 days. I worked with a beautiful resort in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And then the first week of February, I headed to Denver for a conference with my mom. And then I went to New York City Fashion Week. And then I had a quick little birthday trip to Florida to celebrate Sam's 25th birthday. And while we were there, we partnered with a hotel in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I had a freaking blast. I had plans to go to California the following week, the first week of March, to look for a lease that would start that month. And I had so much fun in Florida that I was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm having cold feet and something in me is telling me not to move to California. I still flew to California, and I ventured around for a couple of weeks. I stayed at hotels in San Diego, in Marina del Rey, in Hermosa Beach. I got to see my aunt. I had a blast. And it was really such a fun trip. But I still felt in my heart there was no reason to look at apartments and things like that because something just didn't feel quite right. So I shipped my car back to Maryland. You guys might remember I actually had left it there while I studied abroad because I was certain that I would end up moving to the beach in California. So I shipped it back home, and a couple of weeks later I hopped in the car and I drove down to St. Petersburg, Florida. I stayed in an Airbnb with Sam and Jules for 6 weeks, and I freaking loved it. We literally lived right across from the beach. It was phenomenal. I shot tons of swimwear content. I got to sit in the sun all day. I got to walk on the beach. Like, I was thriving. We decided to break up my 17-hour drive from Florida back to Maryland up with a little road trip. Best Western so kindly sponsored me, and I got to see Savannah, Charleston, Charlotte, Wilmington, and we ended celebrating my 22nd birthday in Nashville. It was a blast. At this point, nobody I knew was eager to move, and honestly, neither was I. It was the beginning of June, and I love my hometown in Maryland in June. I had a couple of family vacations slash small trips coming up. So I went to see my grandparents. I spent 2 weeks in the Outer Banks. I took a couple of different hotel collabs. I got to see some college friends, and overall just had a great summer. Then it was September, and the same thing. I had a couple of hotels reaching out. My travel content was performing really well. And I was like, you know, maybe I'm just supposed to keep doing this for a little while longer. Then in October, I got asked on an incredible trip with the travel agency Bart & Barch. They asked if I wanted to go to Italy for 10 days. And I knew in my heart that that was God telling me I needed to go back and see my study abroad home again exactly a year later. It was so clear to me that that is exactly where I was supposed to be. So I went to Italy for 10 days, and while I was there, I was like, you know what, let's just stay in Europe a little bit longer. I went to Denmark, I went to Sweden for a day, I went to Ireland, London, and then I had the incredible opportunity to work with a company called Navigare, and they put me on a private yacht for a week in Greece, and it was the coolest freaking collab ever. I felt like the luckiest girl in the world. So I was there from October 1st to October 30th. And when I returned home from Europe, my parents announced that they were going to start getting the house ready to sell. I have lived in my childhood home in Maryland for my entire life, so 22 years. My parents have lived there a few years longer. We were born and raised there, but we do not have any family there. My grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nobody else lives in Maryland. And my parents have always said when they were done paying off the house and they were getting ready to retire or move into like their more fun job, I guess, that they would sell and move somewhere different. They do not know where they're moving yet, and they do not have any like set in stone plans, but they do know that they're starting to prepare. So we've been making kitchen renovations, home renovations, things like that. And again, I was like, wow, like I never intended on living at home for a full year after college, but maybe this was God's way of just wanting me to really be present in my childhood home for the end of its lifespan. Around the same time, we actually found out that my childhood dog was no longer doing very well. She was having kidney failure, and about 2 weeks after I got home from Europe, we had to put her down, which was really sad, but Abby lived a great life. She was 16, but we do miss her every day. At this point, it was the holidays, and I had a few final trips. I did a little bit of apartment hunting, and I just kind of finished out the year at home, soaking up Christmas and New Year's and all that jazz with my family. The next question is, are you still planning on moving? So at the end of November, I actually did fly down to St. Petersburg, Florida, and I did some apartment hunting with my college roommate, Lauren. She has been wanting to move to the Florida area for as long as I can remember, and I lived with her for 3 out of 3.5 years of college, so I knew that we would live really well together. We went down and toured some places. Nothing was like super perfect, but there were definitely a couple of places we could have made work. Unfortunately, when we got home from that trip, she let me know that she just really didn't want to leave her new boyfriend, that she was having some cold feet and just didn't really feel like that was what's right for her right now. Of course, I always want my friends to do what is best for them. Unfortunately, in doing so, it did throw a little bit of a wrench in my plans because a January 2024 move was no longer in the cards. I definitely can afford to move out on my own. I just have never really desired to live alone. I love being with my friends. It's really hard for me to have work-life balance when I'm by myself, which is one of the things I struggle with most about being at home in Maryland. None of my friends live in that area, so I find that my workday just kind of blends into the evening, and I don't really take time to turn the phone/style by off. And it's just so fun living with friends, you guys. I love having roommates so much, and cooking dinner together and watching Netflix and doing the whole bit. Next question is, so what are you doing right now? As you can tell, it is January 2024, and I am not in my hometown bedroom. When Lauren called me to say that she was not ready to move/didn't want to, I called up my best friend Ashley, who was my roommate the summer I lived in California. Her and her boyfriend John live in a 3-bedroom house, and it's just the two of them. They do have an extra room, and they've been asking me to come and visit, and I called her up and was like, hey, I would really love to slow down for the month and kind of take a break from all of the constant travel. Would you be interested in taking on a little roomie for the month? We've always dreamed about living together again, but weren't really sure if we would ever be able to make that work, and this was kind of the best of both worlds for both of us. And she was like, come on down, we'd love to have you. And so that is where I am right now. I got here on January 10th, and I will be here until February 10th, so a full month, and I am just loving every second of it. California holds a special place in my heart, and it's been really, really good to just have friends to hang out with in the evenings, someone that is also a content creator to creatively energize me, and to just be in a space that really makes me feel motivated and inspired. So yeah, I'm loving it so far. Quite a few people asked me if I am considering moving back to California since I did come back for this month, and honestly, no, for a couple of different reasons. One, it's just really far from home. I hate that it takes a full day to fly cross country and get home if I need to. B is it's really hard having a time difference with my management and everyone else. I don't love having that. I prefer to be on East Coast time. And then the third thing is that I am obviously self-employed, and the state tax difference between California and Florida. Florida, as you guys know, has 0 income tax, and California, it's about like 30 to 35%. So it's a huge difference in my income, and it's just not worth it to me right now, I guess. If you ask me what I love most about California, it's the weather and the variety and living by the beach, and I can kind of get all those things in Florida. Now, never say never, you guys. Don't hold me to it. I could probably be convinced, but as of right now, I am Team Florida. So to circle back to the question of, are you still planning on moving? Yes and no. I don't really know, you guys, truthfully. I have said yes and accepted quite a few trip opportunities for the next couple of months, just because I know that right now is peak snowbird season in St. Pete, and so there are not a lot of houses and apartments on the market anyways. So I've kind of been trying to stall by filling up my travel calendar and just living like week to week, trip to trip, month to month, the way I have been for the last year. So I'm definitely not moving before April. However, I'm not really sure I'll be moving in April either, for the sheer fact that, like I said, I don't really care to live alone. I'm really hoping that the stars will align and one of my college friends or sorority sisters or Sam or Jules will want to move, will find the perfect spot, and I will sign a full year lease before the end of the year. But like I said, I'm just trying to trust God's timing, and I will be honest with you guys, I really could do this for another full year of just like back-to-back trips. I mean, I am part fashion blogger, part travel blogger, so it kind of is part of the job anyways, and it's kind of proven to be easier to fill my calendar than I expected, so never say never. Next question is future trips on the calendar. So I just got back from the Bahamas, and like I said, I am in California until like Valentine's Day-ish. I am then joining my mom on her convention, which is happening in New Orleans. It's during Mardi Gras. I'm super excited. And then from there, I am going home for a couple of days, and I will be headed somewhere warm and sunny for Sam's 26th birthday. Jules and I are going to be doing a birthday trip. Not 100% sure where that's going to be just yet, but we shall see. And in March, I'm going to head down to Florida and spend some time in 30A/St. Pete with Kylie for her spring break. I was just invited on a cruise yesterday. I'm not 100% sure if that is going to be in the Caribbean or in Europe. Comment. Which one would you guys rather go on? Because I did a poll on Instagram yesterday and it was 50-50, and I was like, oh my gosh, that didn't help me make up my mind. In April, I'm going to Kent for a full week, and then in May, we are going to Key West, hopefully for my 23rd birthday and my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. And then I actually just got off of the phone with the company Navigare that I went to Greece with, and they asked if I would be interested in, drum roll please, the Virgin Islands, Spain, another trip to Greece, and Croatia, all in this calendar year. So you see, guys, it's like I'm having a hard time moving and settling down because I really can be just like anywhere and do this anywhere, and that's such a blessing. Like, it's like the best problem to have. So yes, lots of trips on the horizon. If there's any country, state, city in specific you would like to see a travel guide or outfit ideas for, please comment down below. It makes my job so much easier to hear what you guys want. So help a girl out. Next question is, how come you don't see your college friends / Olivia and Lauren more? So to be honest, half of my college friends are still in college. They are a year younger than me, so they will be graduating in May. So that is why I don't get to see them much, is because I don't really get to go to Kent all that often. Thankfully, I'll be there for a full week and I'll get to spend lots of time with them in the spring. My college roommates Olivia and Lauren, and my best friend Emily, and my sorority big Allie, all of them live in different states and are working full-time jobs. Unfortunately, when you are not self-employed, you do not get unlimited time off. So I have tried to bring everyone on at least one trip this year to kind of see everybody, and I went to see Olivia a couple times in Pittsburgh. We definitely don't get nearly as much as I would like, which is just tough in the reality of growing up. Which brings me to the next question, which someone said, what has been the hardest thing about post-grad? And for me personally, it's definitely not having the same core group of people around me all the time. I'm so fortunate to be traveling as much as I am, but it definitely does get lonely. Even when I am with Sam and Jules, I love them. We have a blast together. We laughed so much. But it's definitely different not being in a routine and just living, just being like, just relaxing with people that, you know, like you grew up with and you spent so much time with. Like, not having Olivia and Lauren down the hall is definitely tough for me. And as much as it shocks people, I really am a homebody, which is why I think I really do thrive in extended stays like this month in California and like the month that I did in St. Pete. Someone else said, how has making friends been post-grad? Honestly, for me, like non-existent. I meet so many amazing people when I travel, and I get to have like these amazing weekends with them and things like that. But then you don't really get to see those people ever again. Next question is 2024 styled by goals. So I have a lot of exciting things on the horizon, which I just am so happy to be sharing. The first one is I am launching a scholarship at Kent State. That is my alma mater, as you guys know, and I am giving $2,500 to an incoming freshman that qualifies under certain like GPA requirements and things like that. They will be a fashion student, and I am going to Kent in April for a full week. I will be speaking to prospective seniors. I will be speaking to college seniors that are about to graduate. I will be speaking at a roundtable, at a job fair, and then I'm actually the keynote speaker for the big fashion show that happens annually. My old professor, Hillary Stone, she is like the industry coordinator, like she runs everything there. She so kindly asked if I would come back, and I am so excited. One thing that I have also been struggling with post-grad is really just like having purpose and being like, I'm so fortunate that I can make a living talking about clothes and posting to YouTube and things like that, but what difference am I really making in someone's life? You know, like I'm not changing the world by doing this job, and that, I don't know, it just feels not so important sometimes. I'm really excited to take this step and to give back to the school that really made me into who I am. I'm just like, I feel so fulfilled, and it hasn't even happened yet. So that has been like a big step for me. I'm also getting ready in the next 3 weeks to launch my Style by rebrand. I've been working on redesigning my website, new logo, new colors, new fonts, new sitemap, new everything for the last, oh gosh, we started in October. It's been a long time coming, and that is going live in just a few weeks, and I'm really excited. I've spent a lot of hours pouring my heart into this project and a lot of dollars making it happen. So I'm excited for the future of Styled By. I'm really hoping to put my website on the map this year. I've been blogging for 8 years now, and I have amazing impressions and views and things like that. But obviously, it's always a goal to be reaching new faces and things like that. I'm hoping with new travel destinations that will be possible. Other goals, I'm really hoping to hit 100K on Instagram this year. And I am wanting to travel with a company, like on a brand trip. That's a big goal for me. And I'm hoping to hit 5 new countries this year. I'm already 1 down. I've been to the Bahamas, so hopefully we can make that happen. Someone said, 2023 accomplishment that you are most proud of. For me, making the leap of faith and just going to Europe for a full month. I really took risks in 2023 that made me feel so uncomfortable, but I had a lot of personal growth. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. They always say that, and I really found that to be true this year for me. I find that I am really comfortable when I'm in a routine, and that's one thing that I really lacked in 2023. I lacked stability, as you guys can tell from like my constant sporadic posting. That's another 2024 goal, is getting back to a typical YouTube schedule. Sundays and Wednesdays, and blog posts Mondays and Wednesdays. I promise you guys, hold me to it. What was I saying? It's like I just lost my train of thought for a second because I can't shut up ever. Anyways, going to Europe for a month. I know I studied abroad and I went for 5 months and I lived in Italy, but something about just like packing one single suitcase and going to Europe for the month felt like I can't wait to tell my kid about it someday. Like the entire month I was like, I'm doing this for the plot, not in a way that it wasn't doing it for me right then and there, but I couldn't help but think like, I'm so proud of myself for just doing this. Like this is a trip I will remember and talk about and reference for years and years to come. So that for me was just like, wow. And it was really special getting to be back in my study abroad city exactly a year later. I kind of didn't think that would ever happen, so fun. Someone said, how did you stay so motivated? For me, always having something ahead, something to look forward to, really helps keep me going right now. Intrinsically and extrinsically. So if I know I have a trip in 2 weeks, I know that I need to be hustling and getting a specific amount of work done every single day in order to go on that trip and be able to relax. I think of it as like being at a buffet, okay? Like your plate is full and you can't get new food on that plate until you eat some of it. So it's like if you're constantly consuming, then there's constantly room for more to be added. Some people will argue that's tireless and it will lead to burnout. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm someone that's like, if there's always something on the horizon, it always keeps me going. Best piece of post-grad advice you've been given: 100% stop comparing yourself to the people around you. Everybody is doing their own thing and literally nobody has it all figured out, like nobody. And really just focus on what you're doing and how it makes you feel, because if you feel good about what you're doing, then it's like kind of nothing else really matters. The rest of it will fall into place when the time is right. So that's what I'm trying to trust. On the reverse side, the next question is best advice to someone who is getting ready to graduate and enter post-grad life. Do not rush. I wish that I had spent more time in college just not thinking about, oh my God, like where am I gonna move after college, or what job am I gonna get after college, yada, 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 yada. Be where your feet are. I need to do this more right now as well. But you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to have a job lined up. You don't need to know if you and your boyfriend are gonna do long distance or not. You don't need to worry about, like, just stop worrying and just be present where you are. There is absolutely no phase of life that is the same as being in college. So soak it up, go out to the bars every night, eat hungover McDonald's, and just hug your people like you would not believe, because life really is never the same again. So it's sad, but it's true. The next question is, do you ever see yourself working for a company or freelancing your entire career? As of right now, I do not plan on working for anyone else, but like I've said several times in this video, never say never. I would be really interested though in evolving Style By into something greater down the line, perhaps a swimwear line, a tangible object, something in stationery, maybe in mentorship. I'm not really sure. And then the last question is, how do I do what you do for a living? I get a lot of questions on my Style By journey, and I could literally talk for 3 hours about how I got to where I am right now. I started Style By McKenzie my freshman year of high school. I was 14 years old, and that was 8 years ago now, which is so crazy. It feels like yesterday at the same time. But it has been one heck of a ride. I started making my first dollars from this when I was a freshman in college, and COVID kind of changed the world and the way marketing dollars work and things like that. And I'm so fortunate that I am able to do this full time now and make a living out of it and have a semi-stable career through commission and through ads and through sponsorships. I actually have a blog post that kind of walks you through my timeline and how I was able to make things happen. So if you guys are interested in the content creation space and kind of learning more about it, I will leave that blog post linked down below so that you guys can check that out. I have a few other videos that are old, but I would still give you all the same advice about how to grow your channels and how to make money doing this. So I'll leave those down below as well, but that's probably the best advice I can give. So, all right, you guys, if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down below. I would love nothing more than for you guys to comment. Like I said, definitely I've had a drop in viewership over the years, rightfully so. I'm no longer a college girl, and some people were just interested in my sorority life, but I would love to have more of you guys join me in weekly vlogs and just kind of hear where you guys are at in life and stuff like that. I recognize a lot of your guys' names. You'd be surprised. And I always appreciate hearing from you and what's up in the comments. I'm always down to chit chat. So let me know. I love you guys. Thank you so much for making this like my reality. Every single day I am reminded how lucky I am to be doing this, and I just feel so much gratitude to be able to share it with you guys, and knowing that like this really was like my childhood dream, and it feels really special to be living that out with you guys watching. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will talk to you guys very soon on Sunday in a vlog. Bye guys.